You step softly into a place that feels both familiar and strange, a landscape woven from particles and possibilities. Around you, the air vibrates with a subtle hum, almost imperceptible, like a distant echo of something unseen. Each atom that composes your body, each flicker of light brushing your skin, has a counterpart that exists just beyond your perception. Antimatter, a hidden twin, moves quietly, shadowing every particle, mirroring existence in invisible symmetry. You begin to notice the faint tension between presence and absence. Matter seems solid, tangible, yet you can feel the possibility of its opposite lying in wait. Imagine two dancers facing each other, perfectly in step, each movement mirrored, each gesture anticipated. Sometimes they touch, sometimes they pass by, and in that brief encounter, light bursts forth, energy released as a whisper of the universe's creative breath. You are both observer and participant, drifting gently among these hidden interactions. As you walk through this quiet space, the symmetry of nature becomes a rhythm you can almost feel in your chest. Positive and negative, particle and antiparticle, existence and reflection. Everything is balanced with a subtle elegance. You can imagine the universe as a vast mirror, stretching endlessly in every direction, where every particle casts a shadow of itself in the opposite realm. These shadows are not dark, not empty, but filled with potential, waiting to be seen by the patient eye. You reach out, though your fingers pass through the invisible. Yet even in the absence of touch, there is sensation, a gentle vibration of possibility. Antimatter is fleeting, rare, delicate, and it hums along the edges of reality like a quiet companion. You feel it in the spaces between atoms, in the thin glimmer of cosmic rays brushing past, in the spark of energy that arises when opposites meet. You do not need to understand fully. You only need to notice, to allow your mind to linger in the gentle awe of the hidden. The universe, you realize, is patient. It does not demand recognition. It waits for you to pause, to let your awareness soften into the rhythm of existence. Each particle, each twin, each fleeting interaction is a part of a quiet choreography that has been unfolding since the dawn of time. You imagine the first particles, emerging from the newborn cosmos, dancing into being alongside their hidden counterparts. The symphony is subtle, unhurried, yet immense in scale. A light breeze carries the sensation of motion, though nothing seems to move. This is the paradox of the shadow world. It exists in the stillness of thought as much as in the flares of light and energy. You sense the faint pulse of creation, a rhythm that courses through matter and antimatter alike. Your own heartbeat seems to echo it, a soft reminder that even within you, the universe's quiet balance is mirrored. You are both observer and reflection, a participant in a dance that stretches from the smallest quark to the farthest star. You begin to trace the contours of these hidden twins in your mind's eye. Each electron has a positron, each proton an antiproton, moving through a universe of symmetry. The collisions that occur, brief, brilliant flashes, release energy that illuminates your imagination. You picture light spiraling outward, a burst that carries both information and beauty. These moments are fleeting, but in your awareness, they stretch into eternity. You float among them, letting their soft brilliance seep into your consciousness, warming the edges of your mind like a gentle sunrise. There is a softness here, a quiet wonder that does not insist on answers. You are invited to linger, to notice without needing to solve the puzzle of existence. Antimatter does not scream its presence. It whispers, subtle as wind over a still lake. You feel the balance in every interaction, the way the universe maintains its intricate symmetry with infinite patience. And yet, for all its delicacy, there is power here. Energy contained, waiting, ready to become light when opposites meet. Your thoughts drift toward the cosmic scale. You imagine entire clouds of particles and antiparticles, drifting in the vastness of space. Occasionally, they meet, and in that brief touch, the universe shimmers with radiant energy. It is a quiet fireworks display, a gentle reminder of the immense creativity underlying reality. You sense that even in emptiness, there is potential, a readiness for interaction, a readiness for the universe to whisper its secrets to those who notice. You begin to feel the deep calm that comes with understanding that everything has a counterpart. There is no rush, no urgency. The world exists in a gentle equilibrium, matter balanced by antimatter, light dancing in reflection, energy humming in harmony. You inhale slowly, imagining the mirrored particles floating alongside you, moving in perfect rhythm. You exhale, letting the wonder sink deeper into your awareness, grounding you in a sense of serene curiosity. As you drift further into this reflective space, the concept of time softens. The past and future fold lightly around the present, and you feel suspended in a delicate moment where everything is possible. The universe holds its breath with you, as if inviting you to witness the quiet majesty of hidden order. Every particle, every shadow, every silent echo of antimatter is a gentle reminder that reality is layered, subtle, and endlessly fascinating. And then, just as your mind begins to settle, a thought arises. What happens when opposites meet completely, when the dance of matter and antimatter is no longer a quiet shadow but a burst of radiant energy? You feel a thrill, not of fear, but of curiosity, knowing that the answer lies in a chapter yet to unfold. The universe has shown you only the first hints of its mirrored depths. You linger, suspended between wonder and expectation, ready to drift onward into the mysteries that wait beyond the shadows of the mirror. You drift through the newborn universe, where light spreads like liquid gold across the dark canvas of space. Each particle you glimpse seems to hum with quiet potential, a promise of things to come. Here, matter and antimatter are inseparable companions, like shadow and sunbeam, dancing together in a rhythm too subtle for ordinary perception. You watch as they form, spin, and glide past one another, often meeting and vanishing in gentle flashes of energy, as if the cosmos is breathing softly in your presence. There is a serenity in their fleeting existence, a pattern of creation and destruction so delicate it feels like a whisper against your consciousness. You notice how antiparticles mirror particles almost perfectly, yet they carry an opposite signature, a reversed heartbeat of existence that feels like the echo of a secret melody. The universe, still young and tender, allows these ghosts to trace elegant arcs, shaping the very matter that will one day build stars, planets, and life itself. Floating closer, you see the subtle differences that give each particle its essence. They are tiny, almost impossibly small, yet their impact is immense. Their interactions release sparks that light the surrounding space, illuminating vast stretches of newborn matter, hinting at the complexity that will one day weave galaxies together. You sense the fragile balance maintained in these early moments. The slightest excess of one over the other could tilt the universe into silence. Yet here, they coexist with a kind of quiet understanding, a cosmic etiquette that guides every encounter. Your mind stretches to encompass their subtle dance. You imagine waves of antimatter drifting through space like invisible ribbons, sometimes brushing against ordinary matter, releasing tiny flashes of energy that scatter like droplets of sunlight across an unseen pond. You realize that this dance is not chaotic but deeply patterned, an intricate choreography written into the very fabric of reality. Every flicker, every disappearance, every emergence feels intentional, though you cannot yet grasp the full language of the cosmos. Time seems to slow as you follow a pair of particles spinning toward collision. You almost hold your breath, watching the instant they meet. There is a flash of brilliance, a gentle release, and then nothingness. And yet, this apparent nothingness is pregnant with possibility, for each disappearance leaves a subtle trace in the growing universe, a hint of the structures that will one day rise from these beginnings. You sense that even in vanishing, they contribute to creation, each ghostly encounter shaping what will follow. You begin to feel the immense quietude of early existence, a silence that is not empty but rich with potential. The newborn cosmos is both fragile and resilient, its motions slow, deliberate, and profoundly intimate. You can almost feel the pulse of emerging energy, a rhythm that will continue long after these first particles are gone. It is a slow heartbeat that whispers continuity, hinting at the profound link between what is seen and unseen, matter and its shadow, the tangible and the ghostly. In this vast, stretching moment, you notice the light itself bending around the newborn particles, tracing curves in space that are subtle yet mesmerizing. Each photon carries a story, a record of encounters and transformations, glowing faintly as it moves through the primordial mist. You imagine these photons traveling across space, bearing the quiet memoirs of particles that existed before worlds, before time had hardened into its familiar flow. Their journey is infinite, a soft thread weaving through the tapestry of existence, connecting past, present, and future in a seamless embrace. You become aware of your own breathing, the rhythm of your chest echoing the universe's gentle pulse. The creation around you is intimate, almost personal, as if the cosmos itself recognizes your presence. You feel a tender connection to the ghostly dance, understanding that these ephemeral sparks, these fleeting antimatter companions, are part of the same story that will one day cradle life and consciousness. It is a subtle lesson in impermanence, a reminder that even the most transient phenomena leave traces, shaping the universe in ways invisible to ordinary sight. The stars, yet unborn, shimmer faintly in your imagination, seated by this delicate interplay of matter and antimatter. You sense how these tiny beginnings will ripple outward, eventually forming nebulae, galaxies, and the building blocks of everything you know. And as you float among the ghosts of creation, you recognize that the universe is not only vast but profoundly intimate, a tender web of fleeting sparks and enduring traces, each moment contributing to the slow unfolding of all that is to come. And as the first hints of structure emerge, like threads of silk drawn taut across the void, you realize that these ghostly particles are guides to the next chapter of cosmic growth, whispering secrets of balance, emergence, and the persistent, patient artistry of creation. You drift through the quiet spaces between particles, where the universe hums with anticipation. Here, the air is not thick with sound, but with possibility. Each particle carries a story, a memory of interactions long past, a weightless presence that hints at the structure of all that is. And then, in the infinite silence, you notice its counterpart, antimatter, the mirror that reflects everything familiar in a way that is profoundly, unsettlingly opposite. They are drawn to each other with a force that is almost instinctual, a cosmic inevitability. Matter and antimatter, twin reflections separated by symmetry, sense the pull before sight or thought. It is as if they remember a time when the universe itself was younger, and every particle had not yet chosen a path. In this remembered rhythm, attraction is both gentle and absolute, a silent choreography performed across space and time. You follow the slow approach of a particle and its opposite. You imagine them as dancers, circling one another, hesitant, aware that their encounter will not leave them unchanged. There is no chaos here, only the certainty of a meeting dictated by the fundamental laws that bind reality. As they draw closer, you feel the tension of potential, like the pause before a note is played or the breath held before a sunrise. When they finally touch, the transformation is immediate. Energy bursts forth, not in a roar, but in a delicate blossom of light. Photons scatter like petals in a breeze, carrying warmth, color, and the echoes of something that existed only for a brief, perfect instant. You sense the subtle poetry in this reaction. Destruction that is creation, ending that is beginning, a cycle that repeats itself silently, ceaselessly, in the hidden corners of the cosmos. This annihilation is not violence. It is the language of balance, spoken in a tone both soft and profound. You realize that in every encounter, there is a lesson in impermanence. What seems solid, what seems enduring, is subject to transformation. Even the tiniest particles are actors in this quiet drama, reminding you that change is not only inevitable but necessary, and that beauty often exists in the fleeting. Your mind drifts to the immense scale of the universe. Stars burn because of similar dances, where particles and antiparticles mingle briefly in the furnace of creation, releasing energy that travels light years to touch distant worlds. Each burst is a whisper of the cosmos' intention, a note in a symphony so vast it can scarcely be imagined. You feel a gentle shiver of awe at the thought that something so small can shape something so grand. In your imagination, you see this dance repeated in microcosm and macrocosm alike. Annihilations in clouds of gas give birth to light that warms distant planets. In laboratories on Earth, human hands guide particles toward one another, carefully controlling the fleeting moments of interaction to glimpse the secrets of existence. You sense a delicate parallel. The universe itself is both experimenter and participant, observing its own patterns, learning from the gentle flash of energy that marks every collision. The interplay of opposites is everywhere. You notice it not just in matter and antimatter, but in forces, in motion, in light and shadow. Poles attract, tides respond to the moon, electrons circle nuclei, tracing invisible orbits in a silent harmony. There is a quiet poetry in these interactions, a language of attraction that is older than thought, older than memory. Everything moves because everything seeks balance, and yet, in seeking, the universe creates moments of dazzling exception. As you watch, you begin to understand the paradox. Annihilation is not a negation but a transformation. Nothing is lost. It is only changed, converted, released into a different form. Matter and antimatter vanish, and yet their meeting leaves behind energy, light, and a story of connection. You feel, in this gentle unfolding, a reflection of your own life. Endings that are beginnings, separations that are reunions, losses that become opportunities for renewal. You imagine drifting further into the heart of a particle accelerator, where humans orchestrate collisions that mirror the quiet workings of the cosmos. In these controlled environments, matter meets antimatter in flashes of brilliance, measured and observed, yet still magical. Scientists detect the energy, record the traces, and through this process, they glimpse the fragility and the grandeur of the universe. You sense a kinship between the microscopic and the cosmic. The same rules, the same poetry, repeated in different registers, across scales that stretch your imagination. Your attention shifts to the nature of energy itself, born of these fleeting encounters. It is subtle, pervasive, unending. When matter and antimatter meet, the energy released is a reminder that creation and destruction are inseparable partners. You feel this principle mirrored in the quiet motions of your own world. The ebb and flow of tides, the rotation of planets, the rhythms of day and night. Energy transforms, travels, and touches, always continuing, never ceasing, as if the universe itself breathes. In the silence, you notice the fragility of the balance. A tiny excess of one type over the other could have led to a very different universe, one without stars, without planets, without you. The very fact of your existence rests on this delicate symmetry, on the narrow margin where opposites met and transformed in the earliest moments of time. You feel the weight of this cosmic fortune, a soft, awe-filled humility that deepens your awareness of how intertwined everything is. As the annihilations continue, scattered across space and time, you sense a rhythm forming, almost musical. Each encounter is a note, each release of energy a chord, and you are immersed in a composition that is quiet yet profound. You feel a deep relaxation as you realize that the universe itself is patient, performing its symphony slowly, deliberately, ensuring that every particle, every atom, every photon participates in the unfolding narrative. And in this moment, the lesson is clear. Attraction brings together, transformation releases, and endings are invitations. You carry this understanding with you, feeling the gentle hum of energy that pervades all things. The universe teaches you in whispers, and you listen, letting the light of countless annihilations illuminate your mind and heart. You drift away from the immediate brilliance of the collisions, your awareness expanding into the broader canvas of cosmic possibility. Somewhere, new patterns are forming, structures that will one day host stars, planets, and perhaps, in their own time, the flicker of life. The quiet lesson lingers. Every interaction, every fleeting meeting, leaves a trace that shapes what is to come. You feel the anticipation of discovery, the gentle pull of curiosity that will guide you onward. You step quietly into a world where the ordinary rules of touch and sight seem to fade. The air hums with a low, steady vibration, as if the building itself breathes alongside you. It is a place where human curiosity reaches for the untouchable, where the invisible folds under careful observation and gentle restraint. Here, in these softly lit laboratories, scientists work not with the brute force of discovery, but with the delicate patience of gardeners tending rare and fragile blooms. Your gaze drifts across the instruments, each one humming, glowing, whispering possibilities. Cylindrical traps glint faintly under fluorescent lights, their surfaces smooth and cold, yet somehow inviting. Inside them, tiny droplets of antimatter float in careful isolation, held in place by magnetic fields that curve like invisible rivers. They are delicate as dew, luminous in their potential, dancing in a choreography dictated by the laws of physics and the attentive hands of those who study them. You imagine the scientists themselves, calm and meticulous, their movements measured and thoughtful. They bend close to screens and controls, adjusting parameters with the precision of a pianist finding the perfect note. Each gesture matters. Each breath matters. The room does not feel rushed or anxious. It moves in sync with the quiet patience of exploration, as if the very air conspires to slow time, allowing wonder to unfold fully in each moment. Antimatter, you realize, is not just a substance but a reflection of possibility. For every particle that exists in the universe, there is an opposite, a mirror that can annihilate or illuminate. To touch it, even metaphorically, is to glimpse a universe in balance, a symmetry so delicate it must be coaxed into revealing itself. You feel your own awareness expand, floating alongside these droplets, witnessing their subtle, radiant presence without fear or urgency. There is a poetry here, in the contrast between what is known and what is still waiting quietly to be understood. The hum of the equipment becomes a lullaby, a rhythm you follow with your breath. You notice how tiny forces, invisible yet constant, hold everything together. Magnetic fields curl and twist like slow streams, capturing droplets in suspended animation. Lasers pulse with soft precision, illuminating what would otherwise remain hidden. You sense a dialogue between human hands and elemental forces, a conversation conducted in patience and subtlety rather than words. Here, discovery is not violent or sudden. It unfolds gently, like a flower opening in the early morning. Your mind drifts to the edges of comprehension, to the questions that linger just beyond certainty. How does one hold what cannot be held? How does one observe what might vanish the moment it touches another? You feel a gentle thrill, not of fear, but of awe, a calm recognition that the universe offers wonders both tangible and ephemeral, and that humans, in their quiet curiosity, find ways to meet them halfway. There is a sense of sacredness in this pursuit, as though the very act of attentive care becomes an offering to the unknown. Outside the chambers, the world moves on without noticing the invisible ballet occurring in these rooms. You imagine the droplets of antimatter floating, reflecting light in ways only the mind can see, waiting to merge with their matter counterparts, releasing energy in a soft, controlled symphony. There is a hush here, a reverence for balance, for the interplay of existence and its shadow. You sense that observation itself is a form of intimacy, a slow communion between human ingenuity and the laws of nature. And yet, even as you watch, there is a reminder of limits, of the fragile boundary between control and chaos. The droplets are ephemeral, their lifespans measured in the briefest of heartbeats. One misstep, one careless motion, and the delicate harmony could dissolve. But there is no alarm, only respect, a recognition that the universe does not hurry, and neither should you. You breathe in the patience of this space, letting it fill your body, letting it fold into your awareness, layer by layer. You notice the way light itself behaves here, refracted through glass, bending around magnetic fields, casting shadows that are more suggestion than shape. You feel as though you are learning a new language, one spoken in currents, pulses, and quiet radiance. Each observation, each small adjustment, is a verse in a poem composed with care, where curiosity is the pen and precision the ink. In this gentle unfolding, you are invited not to understand everything at once, but to witness, to marvel, to let the unknown remain soft and mysterious. The hum deepens, becoming a resonance that vibrates through your chest. You imagine yourself small within this grand orchestra, your thoughts mingling with the quiet energy of the droplets, the lasers, the magnetic streams. There is a timelessness here, a gentle rhythm that reminds you of your own heartbeat, your own pulse, a connection to the same universal laws that guide the invisible dance before you. The room holds you in this suspended moment, where wonder is neither rushed nor fleeting, but sustained, gentle, and alive. And as you begin to drift, carried by the soft cadence of curiosity and care, you sense that this delicate symphony of matter and antimatter is not an end in itself, but a doorway. Beyond the hum of the laboratory, beyond the glow of the devices, lies another layer of understanding, another whisper of the cosmos waiting to be felt. A question lingers in your mind, soft and patient. What does it truly mean for something to exist, to be and not be, to shimmer quietly just beyond the reach of your fingers? You drift quietly through the vastness of space, where stars shimmer like scattered pearls and galaxies swirl in delicate, spiraling dances. Here, in this silent ocean, there is a secret companion, barely perceptible yet profoundly present: antimatter. It is not loud, not forceful, but a whisper of possibility, a mirror of the matter that forms everything you know. You feel it as a gentle hum beneath the fabric of the universe, an echo of a symmetry that almost exists, but not quite. Floating past distant clusters of stars, you sense its absence as much as its presence. Matter dominates the space, the planets, the suns, the clouds of dust and gas all aligned in predictable ways. Yet, somewhere in the quiet corners of this cosmic expanse, tiny flecks of antimatter drift alone. They are rare, elusive, like the softest notes of a song you almost remember. You imagine the particles tracing the same paths as their matter twins, but always separate, always distant, dancing in a mirrored universe that never quite touches your own. You ponder why the cosmos seems so imbalanced. Early in the universe's history, every particle of matter should have had a twin of antimatter. Yet, as the universe expanded and cooled, an unseen process nudged the scales, tipping reality toward the world you now observe. You imagine those first fleeting moments as a gentle brush of wind across a still pond, the tiniest ripple creating waves that stretch across eons. The universe chose a side, letting matter dominate, allowing galaxies, stars, and life itself to flourish. And antimatter, its rare, ghostly companions, remains scattered and invisible, a reminder of what might have been. You drift closer to a nebula, its clouds of gas glowing softly in reds and blues, an ethereal lantern against the darkness. Antimatter might pass here, unseen, interacting only when it meets its opposite, vanishing in a flash of energy. You think of this annihilation not as violent, but as a quiet release, a momentary illumination, like fireflies touching briefly before fading into night. In this way, antimatter tells a story not of absence, but of balance, of fleeting encounters that leave echoes across the universe. Your mind wanders to the experiments humans have created to study these elusive particles. They are captured in magnetic bottles, held only briefly, photographed in flashes of light that vanish as quickly as they appear. Scientists trace their paths carefully, marveling at their rarity, recording the whispers of what the universe once almost mirrored. You sense their gentle excitement, their childlike wonder, as if they are listening to a secret melody that the cosmos plays softly for anyone patient enough to hear. Imagine a single positron, drifting alone, its charge opposite to the electrons flowing through every star, every current of light. Its journey is long, lonely, yet somehow purposeful. It is the universe's way of reminding you that symmetry exists, even if imperfectly, that for every action, there is a mirror possibility, a reflection that may never fully meet its counterpart. In your mind's eye, you follow it, tracing arcs through empty space, feeling the quiet rhythm of its motion, a pulse in the stillness. You float through the gaps between galaxies, where darkness feels almost tangible, thick and velvety. There, antimatter may wander unseen, untouched by the dense clouds of matter that fill the universe's brighter regions. You imagine these particles drifting silently, almost meditative, a lonely ballet in a cosmic theater with no audience. And yet, they are essential to the story of everything. Without them, the universe's tale would be incomplete, missing the soft counterpoint that gives the main melody its meaning. Your thoughts drift toward the possibility of detection. Telescopes and sensors are like ears pressed to the universe's chest, listening for the faintest heartbeat of annihilation, the softest whisper of collision. Each flash of light, each subtle signal, is a message across time and space, telling you, you are not alone in this vast emptiness. There is always another, always a reflection, however fleeting. And as you imagine this, a gentle sense of calm washes over you, a reassurance that even in rarity, there is significance. You begin to notice the subtle interplay of forces around you. Gravity pulls matter together, sculpting stars and planets, while electromagnetic forces guide the dance of particles. Antimatter participates in this choreography, obeying the same rules, yet existing on the opposite side of a mirror. You feel a quiet poetry in these laws, as if the universe itself were composing a lullaby, each particle a note, each interaction a chord resonating through the void. Time stretches infinitely around you. You move past supernova remnants, their glowing shells whispering of explosions long past. Somewhere, antimatter might have been there too, released briefly in a burst of energy before colliding with matter and vanishing. You imagine the sparks it leaves behind, like stars briefly singing before fading. The echoes of these interactions ripple through the cosmos, reminders that even the rarest phenomena leave traces, small and beautiful, that shape the universe's unfolding story. You feel a deep connection to the universe's choices. That imbalance, that preference for matter, made life possible, made consciousness possible, made this quiet journey through cosmic echoes possible. And yet, you hold space in your mind for the antimatter, for the lost mirrors, for the possibilities that almost were. It is a meditation on absence as much as presence, a soft contemplation of why things are as they are, and how much beauty exists even in what is missing. The galaxies stretch on endlessly, and you float past them like a gentle thought drifting across a page. Antimatter is there, just out of reach, and its rarity makes it precious, a silent partner to the world of matter you navigate. Each particle, each ghostly companion, is a story of symmetry and imbalance, a quiet reminder that the universe is full of hidden wonders. You feel the vastness of space, the deep patience of the cosmos, the slow, deliberate unfolding of events that have shaped everything from the smallest atom to the largest cluster of galaxies. As your attention softens, you notice that even in absence, there is presence. The rarest particles are not void. They are gentle signals of a universe that delights in balance, that writes its poetry in both what exists and what almost exists. And you, floating in this quiet cosmic sea, feel the soft resonance of possibility, the gentle murmur of what might be, and the quiet promise of mysteries yet to be explored. The nebula glows softly ahead, the galaxies hum quietly around you, and the antimatter drifts silently, almost as if it waits for you to notice it. You linger on this thought, letting it settle like dust motes in sunlight, knowing that the journey is far from over. The universe has more echoes to reveal, more symmetries to hint at, and more quiet questions that will carry you gently forward. And so, you move on, carrying the whisper of these elusive companions with you. Their presence a soft, unresolved note in the symphony of stars, guiding your mind toward the next wonder just beyond the reach of your gaze. You close your eyes and let your attention drift inward, as if your consciousness itself is shrinking to the size of a single particle. The skin that surrounds you fades into soft focus. The chair beneath you becomes a gentle suggestion, and all that remains is the subtle hum of your body's energy. Inside, you imagine a universe in miniature, a galaxy of atoms spinning, vibrating, colliding in quiet rhythm. Every thought, every heartbeat, every pulse of breath is a brushstroke on this cosmic canvas, delicate and alive. You consider the concept of antimatter, and a small, reflective smile rises unbidden. Antimatter is everywhere and nowhere. It mirrors ordinary matter, the building blocks of your body, yet it remains invisible, delicate, almost unreal. In the vast silence of your inner universe, you imagine these mirrored particles moving in perfect counterbalance to the ones that make up your flesh and bones. For every electron that circles your own atomic nucleus, there is the ghostly positron, tracing a path that cannot be touched but can be envisioned. You inhale slowly, noticing the subtle expansion of your chest, and imagine your own atoms meeting their antimatter counterparts. You do not feel fear, for here there is no collision, no annihilation, only a serene symmetry. You imagine the tiniest opposites dancing together in harmony, creating a subtle tension that keeps the universe, and your own body, balanced. You allow yourself to rest in this quiet reflection, understanding that even the smallest, unseen forces within you contribute to the vast story of existence. Your thoughts drift further into the microscopic ballet. Neutrons, protons, electrons, and their hidden partners swirl in a soft, constant rhythm. You imagine that for every thought you have, there is an antimatter echo somewhere, unseen but perfectly aligned with your mind. Each emotion, each flicker of awareness, is mirrored in this hidden realm, connecting your inner life to something larger, mysterious, yet intimately yours. In this quiet meditation, you notice how fragile and miraculous your own form is. Your body is made of stardust, of particles that have traveled from distant explosions of ancient suns. And within that stardust, antimatter lingers like a secret companion, invisible yet essential, reminding you that existence is not one-sided. The universe is composed of dualities: light and shadow, particle and wave, matter and antimatter. And within you, these dualities coexist peacefully. You allow the science to become a metaphor for your inner world. Every moment of stillness, every gentle breath, becomes a mirror reflecting both presence and absence. The very fact that antimatter is so rare, so fleeting in our observable world, mirrors the quiet parts of yourself that you rarely notice. You visualize these hidden pieces of you, unseen but vital, forming a silent support structure for everything that is visible. You smile gently, recognizing that your awareness is the bridge between the known and the unknown, the tangible and the imagined. Your attention moves to your heartbeat, steady and unassuming. Each pulse is like a drumbeat in the vast orchestra of matter and antimatter. You feel your veins, the soft flow of blood, and imagine electrons tracing invisible orbits, mirroring the paths of positrons you cannot see but can sense. This dance is quiet, rhythmic, intimate, like listening to the universe breathe alongside you. You feel gratitude for this hidden choreography, for the invisible forces that sustain your being. As your awareness expands, you notice that the invisible dance is not only within you but also around you. Every breath you draw carries particles from the world outside, and the air itself is alive with motion, interacting with the antimatter possibilities that hover just beyond perception. You feel connected to the cosmos in a new, subtle way, your existence entwined with the unseen reflections of everything around you. In this moment, you are both observer and participant, a conscious witness to the smallest and most elusive of cosmic dances. Time slows. You imagine the tiny collisions of matter and antimatter, not destructive but delicate, like the gentle tapping of piano keys in a quiet room. These events are improbable yet inevitable, reminders that the universe thrives on balance, on tension, on interaction. You feel a sense of calm acceptance for the mysteries that cannot be fully seen, understanding that curiosity and wonder can inhabit the same space as peace. Your body hums softly, echoing the rhythm of the cosmos itself. Your mind wanders to reflection. The dance of antimatter reminds you that everything has a counterpart. Light has shadow, presence has absence, life has potential echoes. You notice, with gentle clarity, that even your thoughts and emotions have their mirrored counterparts, the quiet and unseen aspects of yourself that give depth and meaning to the visible parts. In this meditative awareness, you sense a profound equilibrium. Opposites do not oppose. They complete, support, and illuminate one another. The world outside may never show you antimatter, and yet, within this quiet universe of your own body and mind, you can imagine it vividly. You trace invisible loops, see ghostly mirrors, sense a balance that sustains you with soft precision. You allow your imagination to wander freely, knowing that these reflections are not fantasies but contemplations of real, mysterious forces. You feel gratitude for the unseen, a gentle reverence for the parts of existence that remain just beyond perception. You return once more to your breath, noticing the inhale and exhale as a microcosm of the cosmic exchange. Each rhythm carries both matter and the possibility of antimatter, each pause a tiny echo of balance. You feel your body as a universe in motion, a quiet symphony of visible and invisible forces intertwined. You linger in this space, savoring the soft awareness that even the most elusive components of reality, the antimatter of you, are present, silent, and beautiful. And as you rest there, immersed in this quiet reflection, a thought lingers softly at the edge of your mind. If within you, opposites can coexist so peacefully, what other hidden harmonies await discovery in the cosmos beyond your body? You begin in a quiet corner of the cosmos, where the void seems absolute, yet it hums with possibility. Imagine that space itself is a gentle canvas, dark and still, waiting for a brushstroke of energy to awaken it. Here, in this near-nothing, particles of matter drift silently, companions in a subtle dance, moving with a kind of innate grace. Across the void, their counterparts, antimatter, mirror each motion, like shadows reflecting every step you take in a soft twilight. As you float among them, you notice the air is not empty. It vibrates with latent potential, an unspoken promise that even the smallest flicker can become luminous. When matter meets antimatter, they embrace in a fleeting touch, and in that embrace, they vanish, but not without leaving a gentle mark. Energy blooms in their place, radiant yet tender, like the slow unfurling of dawn across a quiet sky. The light pulses softly, a heartbeat of the universe, reminding you that disappearance is transformation, not loss. You follow a streak of this light as it arcs gracefully across the dark expanse. It is both delicate and intense, a paradox you feel rather than see fully. Each photon carries a story of balance, an echo of the cosmic conversation between existence and its mirror. In this story, there is no violence, only fluid exchange. Annihilation becomes artistry, a silent music that fills the space with warmth and possibility. As you drift, you notice the patterns the energy leaves behind. Tiny sparks scatter, tracing invisible lines through the void. They form arcs and loops that resemble a vast, intricate web, nature's handwriting in the language of light. You feel the pulse of creation in these traces, a rhythm that matches your own slow, deep breath. With each inhalation, you draw in the serenity of the process. With each exhalation, you release tension and curiosity alike. You are part of the universe's gentle unfolding, a witness to the birth of illumination from absence. Consider the delicate balance required for this spectacle. Matter and antimatter exist in equal measure across the vast cosmos, but encounters are rare. Each meeting is a whisper, a fleeting alignment that creates beauty precisely because it is not constant. You sense the fragility of these moments, yet their inevitability, like raindrops forming ripples on a still pond. Even in emptiness, the potential for brilliance waits quietly, patient and assured. The light you now follow is not just a visual phenomenon, it is a messenger. It carries information, subtle instructions woven into its oscillations. These photons, born of union and vanishing, travel vast distances, connecting regions of the universe that might otherwise remain isolated. Each wave and particle tells a story of transformation, a reminder that the cosmos is a continuum of change, endlessly moving between forms, between presence and absence, between silence and illumination. You pause to notice the warmth this light brings. It is not heat as you know it, but a gentle comfort that permeates thought and body alike. It settles in your mind like a quiet melody, encouraging reflection without urgency. You sense the harmony of opposites, the dance of coming together and fading away, and it resonates with your own inner rhythms. In the quiet, you realize that creation often emerges from what seems like emptiness, and the very act of witnessing is part of the cosmic process. As the light expands, tiny flecks scatter further, each a new possibility. They shimmer briefly, then fade, leaving only memory and a soft glow behind. You understand that every end is also a beginning, and every disappearance writes a subtle mark upon the canvas of existence. In this gentle unfolding, there is no rush, no demand, just the steady, serene pulse of transformation. You drift among these fleeting illuminations, feeling their stories entwine with yours. Each photon is a quiet teacher, showing that energy does not vanish but changes form, that absence can give birth to presence, and that every encounter, however brief, is meaningful. You float, cradled by the rhythm of creation, aware that the universe's whispers are patient, soft, and precise. In the distance, new light begins to shimmer, hinting at processes yet to unfold. You sense that these moments are part of a larger continuum, each burst of illumination leading naturally to the next mystery. Your mind rests in the understanding that endings are gentle transitions, and every bright flash is an invitation to continue exploring, to notice, and to wonder. And as you let the glow of these fleeting energies settle around you, a quiet thought arises. Even from nothing, the universe finds a way to shine. You drift through the silent expanse of the cosmos, your thoughts stretching outward like the gentle halo of distant starlight. In this vastness, there are whispers of a world that might have been, a universe mirrored, where every particle has a twin, a reflection of matter made of its opposite, antimatter. Scientists call it the search for lost twins, a pursuit as delicate and patient as a spider weaving its web in the dark. You walk with them, or float, if you prefer, along invisible corridors of curiosity, tracing their careful steps through the labyrinth of cosmic mystery. Each morning, in observatories perched on remote mountaintops or aboard satellites suspended above the clouds, the researchers awaken to listen for the faintest sighs of antimatter. Their instruments, shining softly like lanterns, scan the heavens for particles that should not exist here, yet may linger, hidden in starlight or cloaked in the glow of cosmic rays. You imagine standing beside one, feeling the quiet anticipation, the almost sacred pause before a reading flickers across a screen. It is a kind of meditation, a slow conversation with the universe itself. The universe, you notice, is patient, almost contemplative in its vastness. Antimatter is a ghost, ephemeral and shy. When matter and antimatter meet, they vanish in a burst of energy, leaving only a whisper of light behind. And yet, the scientists do not despair. They persist, knowing that in every trace, every subtle signal, there is a story waiting to be understood. You learn to hear it too, in your mind, in the rhythm of your breathing, in the gentle pulse of your curiosity. Imagine a cosmic ray streaking through space, born in a distant supernova, racing across millions of years just to brush against a detector here on Earth. It might carry the signature of an antimatter particle, a lost twin from a mirror world. You watch the scientists' faces as they study the readings. Eyebrows raised, lips pursed, a soft exhale. The excitement is quiet but undeniable. It is the thrill of possibility, not certainty, that hums in the air. You feel it too, a gentle tremor of wonder along your spine. The search is meticulous. Every measurement is repeated, every anomaly scrutinized. The instruments hum like a lullaby, and in that sound, you sense the patience of generations of thinkers who have come before, each adding a layer of understanding to a puzzle far larger than themselves. You imagine them as a long chain, stretching across time, hands passing knowledge softly, like fireflies lighting the night sky. And in that illumination, you feel small and safe, cocooned in the gentle persistence of human curiosity. You consider the idea of antimatter not as abstract numbers on a chart, but as a living possibility. Each particle is a tiny mirror, a reflection of the world that could have existed. Perhaps somewhere, in a galaxy far from this one, the rules of creation favored antimatter instead of matter. Perhaps there are suns made of antihydrogen, planets where anti-water flows, and stars that shine with the quiet light of mirrored atoms. You imagine stepping into one of those worlds, feeling the eerie symmetry, the delicate balance of an existence that is both like ours and impossibly different. The scientists rarely speak of these possibilities aloud. Their words are careful, measured, full of respect for the universe's subtlety. Yet you sense the thrill beneath the surface, the almost childlike fascination that drives them to stare at numbers for hours, waiting for a flicker that could change everything. You float beside them, letting your mind move in harmony with theirs. You listen to the hum of computers and the faint whir of detectors, and in that sound, you hear patience and persistence mingled with quiet joy. Sometimes a discovery is made, a particle that might be antimatter. The room holds its breath, the instruments hold theirs. And then, slowly, like dawn breaking over a quiet valley, the scientists begin to understand. There is a soft celebration, not of victory, but of insight. A window has opened into the universe's hidden symmetry, and you peer through it, sensing the beauty of a world both familiar and foreign. Your mind dances gently along the edges of possibility, savoring the hint of a cosmic twin hidden just beyond perception. You begin to notice patterns in the way these searches unfold. There is rhythm, a kind of cosmic poetry, in the way particles emerge, collide, and vanish. The universe, in its vastness, seems to have a subtle cadence, one that the patient observer can detect if they listen closely enough. You let yourself hear it now. The quiet pulse of atoms, the gentle echo of cosmic rays, the slow, deliberate dance of energy and symmetry. In this rhythm, your thoughts find calm, and your imagination stretches across the stars. The search for antimatter teaches a kind of patience you can carry with you. It is not the rush to discovery that matters, but the willingness to notice, to linger, to observe without needing an immediate answer. You practice this patience yourself, letting your mind drift like a light particle across the cosmos. You feel the delicate tension between the known and the unknown, and you learn to find comfort in that space. It is in this quiet curiosity, in this careful attention, that understanding slowly unfolds. Sometimes, the universe seems almost to tease the searchers, offering glimpses of particles that vanish before confirmation, hints of antimatter that flicker and fade. Yet the scientists do not retreat. They take each fleeting signal as a whisper, a gentle invitation to explore further. And you, alongside them, understand that every small hint carries a lesson, that the universe is generous in its mysteries, and that waiting, watching, and wondering are themselves acts of connection. You imagine drifting into a mirrored galaxy, one built from antimatter, where the light curves backward and gravity bends in subtle, unfamiliar ways. The landscape is impossible yet imaginable, a quiet mirror of your own universe. You sense the elegance in its symmetry, the soft perfection in its subtle differences. And as you linger there in thought, you realize that even if we never reach such worlds physically, our curiosity allows us to visit them, to hold their image gently in our minds, and to return transformed. The search for lost twins is not merely scientific. It is poetic. Each particle detected, each faint signal measured, is a stanza in a vast, ongoing poem written across space and time. You feel yourself part of it, carried along in the quiet narrative of discovery, where every question is a note, every observation a whisper. You breathe slowly, deeply, letting the rhythm of the quest sink into your bones, feeling a sense of belonging to something larger, slower, and more beautiful than yourself. And so you continue, quietly, patiently, alongside the seekers. You learn that even in the absence of proof, even in the vanishing of matter and antimatter, there is a kind of truth. It is the truth of possibility, of reflection, of worlds that might exist just beyond reach. You let your thoughts hover there, suspended between wonder and comprehension, savoring the soft uncertainty that makes exploration so deeply human. The stars stretch endlessly above, and you feel your mind expand with them. Each new measurement, each gentle hint of antimatter, reminds you that the universe is patient, that the search itself is a kind of meditation, and that your own curiosity can mirror the quiet dedication of those who hunt for what is hidden. You rest in this awareness, letting it seep into your thoughts, your imagination, your dreams. And as the instruments hum softly into the night, and the researchers sip their tea in muted satisfaction. You understand that the search for lost twins is never truly complete. It is a journey without end, a quiet unfolding of questions that lead gently into more questions. You linger on the edge of one such question, feeling the soft pull of the next chapter of discovery. A whisper promising that the universe still has secrets to reveal, shimmering just beyond your reach. You begin by noticing the quiet spaces between your thoughts, the gentle gaps where nothing seems to exist. These spaces are not empty. They are potential, delicate as the pause between heartbeats. Imagine for a moment the universe in its vastness, and within it, a mirror image of matter called antimatter. You do not need to understand all the equations or the particles themselves, just feel the elegance of balance. For every particle that forms the stars, the air, the water in your lungs, there exists a subtle counterpart, a reflection, like a shadow quietly echoing its shape. Antimatter is not something to fear, although in stories it often appears dangerous. In truth, it is a concept of symmetry. You might picture it as a dance partner, moving in perfect counterbalance to matter. If matter steps forward, antimatter steps back. If matter twirls, antimatter mirrors the motion. There is harmony in this cosmic choreography, a rhythm that echoes quietly within your own mind. You are now walking through a corridor lined with invisible mirrors. Each thought you have is softly reflected, sometimes inverted, sometimes shimmering with a gentle glow. Pause here, noticing the way reflection feels, how the mere recognition of opposites can soothe and anchor your awareness. Your mind begins to explore the idea of annihilation, not as destruction but as transformation. When matter and antimatter meet, they do not simply vanish. They release energy, a soft radiance that ripples outward. Think of this as the moments when opposing ideas within you reconcile. Perhaps you have held tension between conflicting feelings or choices. The meeting of opposites, when approached with curiosity and calm, creates warmth rather than worry. You breathe in, imagining the invisible energy spreading slowly through your awareness, dissolving rigid edges, smoothing corners of thought, and leaving gentle light in their place. As you continue, consider symmetry beyond the cosmic scale. In your own reflections, notice the way thoughts seem to have a counterpart. A worry might have a hidden understanding, a moment of doubt, a quiet intuition. These pairings exist not as opposites in conflict, but as companions, guiding each other in delicate balance. Visualize a line drawn through the center of your mind, each idea mirrored softly across it. You can see tension easing into harmony as these inner counterparts shift, fold, and align. There is no rush, only a gentle unfolding, like clouds drifting slowly across a calm sky. Antimatter in the universe is fleeting, often meeting matter and dissolving in flashes of light. You might imagine this as the ephemeral quality of certain thoughts, which appear only to vanish, leaving subtle illumination in your understanding. Each fleeting idea, each passing reflection, is a whisper of insight, a suggestion from the quiet spaces of your mind. Lean into these whispers. Let them glide past like soft currents, noticing without grasping, feeling without controlling. The rhythm of this observation is slow, measured, comforting, a lullaby of logic, met with the tender weightlessness of imagination. Now, consider the concept of hidden presence. Antimatter exists not to dominate, but to be known through its absence, through the way it shapes what is visible. In your thoughts, too, absence can have presence. The pause between sentences, the blank space on a page, the silent stretch of a moment. These are as vital as any action or decision. Imagine the empty spaces in your mind as a calm, reflective pool. Thoughts float on the surface like delicate petals. Sometimes, the most important realization arises not from what is immediately present, but from what rests quietly beneath, unseen yet shaping the ripples above. Feel the gentle pull of this hidden presence, softening edges of awareness, creating subtle depth in your consciousness. The symmetry you observe in antimatter extends to your own patterns of thought. In the universe, the laws of physics insist upon balance, a graceful constraint that allows the cosmos to flourish. Similarly, your mind thrives when it recognizes complementary forces. curiosity and rest, observation and reflection, movement and stillness. These dualities are not opposing enemies but a duet, an ongoing melody of mental rhythm. Each breath becomes a measure, each thought a note, each pause a harmonic resonance. Let yourself linger here, attuned to this internal music, noticing how the gentle contrasts create the flow of awareness, calming yet engaging, simple yet profound. You may now allow your mind to fold inward, as if the universe itself were contracting gently into the space inside you. Each particle, each shadow, each reflection finds its echo in your awareness. You sense that nothing is wasted. Every absence and presence, every fleeting interaction, contributes to the delicate architecture of consciousness. The edges of thought blur, softening into a luminous fog, where distinctions between opposites are no longer rigid but fluid. You breathe in, and you breathe out, sensing the rhythm of annihilation and creation, balance and reflection, guiding you softly into deeper stillness. In this quiet, reflective state, you might imagine a gentle mirror extending infinitely, revealing endless patterns of symmetry, repetition, and calm. Each pattern is slightly different, shifting subtly with your breath. The universe itself becomes a meditative labyrinth, where exploration is measured and unhurried. You walk slowly through these corridors, each step deliberate, each sensation acknowledged. Your mind floats effortlessly along the reflective pathways, noticing the ebb and flow of ideas like tides, aware of the unseen forces shaping the patterns, yet unattached, entirely present. Finally, notice how even the most abstract scientific concepts can be invitations to introspection. Antimatter is not simply a particle in a distant accelerator. It is a metaphor for balance, for hidden energy, for the gentle interplay of presence and absence. You may allow yourself to marvel quietly at the beauty of opposites, the grace of reflection, and the tender rhythm of symmetry. Let these thoughts fold over themselves, circling inward like a soft spiral, calming, rhythmic, contemplative. You are neither rushing nor resisting, simply observing, allowing, becoming attuned to the gentle logic of balance that underlies everything, from the cosmos to the quiet corners of your own mind. And as your awareness settles, you sense that the journey of reflection is not complete, that there are still more patterns to notice, more opposites to fold into gentle harmony, more quiet radiance to explore. The mirror of thought stretches onward, inviting you to continue tracing the rhythm, the symmetry, the hidden presence, into the next chapter of insight. The universe holds its secrets in the quiet spaces between stars, in the invisible threads of energy that weave galaxies together. You close your eyes and let your awareness drift, noticing the soft rhythm of your own breath, feeling how it mirrors the gentle expansion of the cosmos. In this moment, you are both infinitesimally small and intimately connected, a single consciousness in a vast tapestry of light and shadow. Antimatter floats like a delicate ghost through your imagination. It is familiar and yet profoundly unknown, a mirror image of the matter that makes up your body and the world you inhabit. For every particle you know, there is a counterpart that looks the same but carries the opposite charge, a silent twin that seems to exist only in possibility until it touches its mirror and vanishes in a burst of energy. You picture this annihilation softly, like a tiny candle extinguishing, leaving behind only a shimmer of warmth and a faint echo of light. You feel your mind wander to the elegance of symmetry. Symmetry is everywhere, in the spiral arms of distant galaxies, in the delicate whirls of your fingerprints, in the mirrored shapes of chemical structures. It is a quiet, invisible order beneath the apparent chaos of existence. You imagine that the universe is whispering to you in patterns, asking you to notice the balance between opposites, the dance between creation and destruction. Every atom is both a building block and a story, a rhythm of emergence and disappearance, much like the rise and fall of your own heartbeat. As you drift, you sense the energy that pulses when matter and antimatter meet. It is not destructive in a loud way. It is a soft, radiant release, a gentle transformation that reminds you that endings are also beginnings. You are both observer and participant in this cosmic choreography. The annihilation of a particle and its twin is not something to fear. It is a quiet lesson about impermanence and the cycles that quietly shape reality. Each spark of light that emerges from this encounter carries the memory of what once was and the promise of what may be, a reminder that change is not abrupt, but a slow unfolding that can be felt if you simply pay attention. Your thoughts drift to the vast emptiness between the stars, the spaces where particles have not yet collided, where the universe waits in silence. You imagine the delicate hum of possibilities that stretches across the void, the potential of worlds unformed, the hidden symmetry of forces that govern existence. In this quiet, you feel your own mind expanding, your awareness stretching outward like the unseen filaments of dark matter connecting galaxies. There is comfort here, a realization that even in the emptiness, there is structure, and even in mystery, there is meaning. You recall the early experiments with antimatter, how scientists coaxed particles and antiparticles into gentle dances, observing their fleeting existence before they disappeared into light. You picture the tiny laboratories, the soft hum of instruments, the patient watchfulness of researchers who understand that not all knowledge can be grasped at once. The universe does not rush its lessons, and neither should you. You let yourself feel the gentle patience of the cosmos, recognizing that some mysteries are not meant to be solved in a hurry, but savored in contemplation. The notion of symmetry extends into time as well. You imagine moments of your life as particles in a vast flow, each one balanced by reflections, choices, and echoes. Just as antimatter mirrors matter, your experiences mirror intentions and actions, leaving traces that resonate long after the moments have passed. This symmetry is subtle and beautiful, an invisible order that allows you to see patterns even in apparent randomness. You feel a quiet gratitude for the delicate harmony that holds the universe and your inner world together, a soft reassurance that there is coherence even when understanding seems elusive. As you lie still, you picture the gentle flicker of light across interstellar space. Photons born from distant stars journey silently, weaving through emptiness for billions of years before reaching your eyes. You imagine that some of these photons were once born from the collision of matter and antimatter, a cosmic echo of transformation traveling across time and space. Each particle carries a story, a history of annihilation and creation, of symmetry and asymmetry, a quiet reminder that even in disappearance, there is a trace that endures. You feel your own awareness blending with this cosmic narrative, your consciousness becoming a witness to the timeless dance of energy and matter. You allow your mind to linger on the gentle enigma of antimatter. It is not a riddle to be solved in the urgency of thought, but a companion in quiet reflection. You sense its presence not as a threat, but as an invitation to be curious, to wonder, to sit in stillness and contemplate the delicate balance of forces that shape reality. The universe, in its immense complexity, becomes a space for meditation, where awe is not overwhelming but comforting, a soft luminescence in the quiet of your mind. The thought of annihilation leads you naturally to the idea of impermanence. Just as particles meet and vanish, moments in your own life appear and dissolve. You feel a gentle acceptance, a recognition that endings are not final but part of a continuous unfolding. The soft inevitability of change becomes a lullaby, each breath a wave in the calm ocean of time. You sense that in embracing this rhythm, you are aligned with the universe itself, participating in its quiet, persistent pulse. And now your imagination drifts to creation itself, the subtle unfolding of matter from energy, the invisible forces that guide the formation of galaxies, stars, and planets. You picture these processes as gentle currents, invisible yet constant, moving through the cosmos like a slow, meditative river. Each swirl, each fold, each interaction between particles is a whisper of creativity, a quiet encouragement to see beauty in the unseen. You feel a connection to this creativity, an understanding that it is not separate from you but flowing through you, in your breath, in your thoughts, in the gentle rise and fall of your awareness. You linger in this awareness, sensing the profound intimacy of the universe. Antimatter, symmetry, creation, and annihilation. All are part of a soft, interconnected rhythm. You recognize that some questions will remain unanswered, and that is the gentle gift of wonder. The universe does not need to be fully known to be cherished. It asks only that you notice, that you feel, that you allow yourself to drift with its quiet mysteries. Your mind begins to soften, the edges of thought blurring into calm. You feel a sense of spaciousness, a slow awareness of being both infinitesimal and vast. Curiosity and serenity mingle, each breathing into the other, each a reminder that learning and resting are part of the same journey. You allow yourself to float in this balance, to feel the gentle pull of the unknown without urgency, to rest in the presence of what cannot yet be named. The quiet mystery of antimatter, of symmetry, of cosmic impermanence, is a companion now. It is neither frightening nor pressing. It is simply there, soft and luminous, inviting you to linger, to wonder, and to sleep. As you drift closer to rest, you carry this gentle awe into the spaces of your mind that are quiet, where curiosity can mingle with dreams, and where the infinite possibilities of the universe can settle softly around you. And in this stillness, you sense that even as this chapter ends, the journey continues. A soft invitation to explore what comes next, a universe of thought and wonder waiting just beyond the quiet veil of sleep.